It's been 1 year, 5 months and 6 days since the G.I. Joe Classified Series Haslab HISSTANK was revealed, and after a successful campaign with over 26,000 backers of a target of 8, today's the day, G.I. Joe fans. The Haslab HISSTANK has arrived. The box is massive. Let's get it open. Ciao and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. And if you couldn't tell, today we are of course opening the G.I. Joe Classified Series Haslab HISSTANK that arrived today in time for Christmas. And bravo on the packaging, by the way, as this is technically the third box, as there was a shipper box with another box in it, and that box was protected all corners by these little plastic pieces. So this box is in great condition, not a single dink on it, so bravo on the packaging process. And the box is massive, if you couldn't tell. Look at this thing, really good. So of course I'm going to open this up and take a look at what's in there, because remember, it's not just the HISSTANK. There are 4 individual classified figures in here, including a retro carded Cobra Commander, which, to be honest, I haven't decided if I'm going to open or not yet, so stick around in the video to find out what happens there. But this is just going to be my initial thoughts and unboxing. I'm going to take out the HISSTANK and check out some of the features. So if you want to join me, here I am. I'm not a G.I. Joe historian. I'm not a military man. I was born in '88 in the UK, so I was raised on Action Force and Action Man in the 90s. But I'm a big fan of the classified line in the 6-inch scale, and I think they're going in the right direction at the minute. They're doing really good stuff, especially with the retro carded Duke and Scarlet that's just been leaked. That is what we've wanted in the classified line since the get-go. So this has arrived at a perfect time. I think people are excited. So let's have a quick look at the box, and then I'll open it up and I'll either stay here or I'll go to my review table. I haven't decided how much space I've got yet, but you've got the classified logo with the HISSTANK here, Cobra of course, all on the front. On the back of it, you've actually got the silhouette of the HISSTANK. Now, we've seen this packaging artwork before. It's a wraparound style. On either side, it continues and sort of shows off some of the figures that come with it. On the bottom of it, you've got like a sort of schematic of the actual HISSTANK in this sort of red stencil, looking very nice. So yeah, without further ado, people, I'm going to open this up, get out the HISSTANK and the figures, and let's take a look. Okay, so we open that box to find another box. So we get 2. This first big one with the Cobra H.I.S.S logo on the front obviously holds the Cobra HISSTANK. So I'll leave that there. This skinnier box with the Cobra logo on, this is the one that housed the figures. So you got 4 figures in here, nice and secure to keep that retro card without any creases, without any dents. Really good. So I'll put this up there. So let's look at the figures. So I'm not going to do any reviews or individual looks at these. I'm just going to take an overall look, may do a separate video as I want to focus on the HISSTANK today. But first things first, we get the actual driver, who was always a part of the base offering. He is number 99. It's a shame that this was done in the plastic-free era, because now we've got plastic-free boxes. Shame, but not the end of the world. I'm just going to open these up anyway. Second was the Early Bird Tactician. Now, this was unlocked because the HISSTANK backed within a day, really quick. So we got the Tactician, and his colorway was voted on by the community. I believe there were 6 different options in total, and the community went for the black and red version to complement the HISSTANK. So I don't think that's a bad choice. And he is number 100 in the classified line. Can you believe it? Over 100 figures in the line. Insane. The third one is the female gunner. She was one of the unlocks. Remember, everything got unlocked with this. She is 101. So 3 figures in plastic free packaging. But the main event, let's be honest, is of course the Cobra Commander on this glorious retro card. I'm happy to report this is a much thicker card stock. He is also unpunched. Looks really nice with that Mickey Mouse misprint tribute on the front here. All of his accessories are on there as well. You also get the bio card in the back. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come in the G.I. Joe retro card line with this thicker cardstock. Feels much better in hand, much better quality. And to be honest, I don't think I'm going to be able to open this. This is going to go for a pretty penny online, I have no doubts. So yeah, this is very nice. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to open it. Last but not least, you do get a little baggie with instructions, of course, to show you how to put it together and to give you instructions on how all the different light schemes work. It also reminded me that this does not come with batteries, and you need 3 AA batteries. So I'm going to have to either steal them from my remote control or run to the corner shop while I'm doing this review so we can check out the lights. But instructions, and then of course you get this sort of sticker sheet or this decal sheet with lots of different options to customize your HISSTANK, especially if you brought multiple of them, because yeah, the customizability is very nice here. So yeah, again, I may do a separate video to take a look at all these figures in more detail, but I want to open the main event, which is of course the HISSTANK. How? So we have the HISSTANK finally out of all of that packaging, and this thing is massive. Look at this. I haven't even put any of its attachments on yet. The treads move. It is just so much bigger in person than I expected. I don't really know the best way to do this. I'm freestyling this. So let's switch to the camera in my hand so you can see what I see on the table, which is all of its accessories and components to make the classified inspired version. So you've got the side sort of armor pieces, the top gunner, the classified canopy, the extra gun bits for the chin, and then the side cannons. And what I didn't realize is that every single one of these rockets or missiles, whatever you want to call them, every single one of these, which is 12 in total, come off as a separate piece, which is so very nice. Just a nice touch. But then look at the tank here. Look at the inside, and you've got the seats, and even that here, like that moves down there at the bottom. So good. I do have the extra pieces, which was an unlock for the canopy, the classic style canopy, which we'll look at the end as well. So yeah, I'm not really sure of the best way to do this. It won't fit on my regular review table. So what I'm going to do is just piece this together and do a quick montage of me clipping everything in. Let's go. Yo, Joe, or should I say Cobra? Because there is no way the Joes are beating Cobra if they have a couple of these on their arsenal. Not at least until the Dragonfly comes. This thing is just so big and imposing. I've seen this in person at MCN Comic Con and really didn't get a sense of scale until now it is in my room. This thing has weapons all over it. It is an absolute tank. I wish I had this as a kid. It could mean so. Look at the treads. It literally sounds like a tank going into war. The weapons on it, like you can extend the side bits, give it more of a wider silhouette. All the guns on top, like this bit comes out and it's like a separate bucket with all the guns attached. Like all the guns attached there. It has handlebars, that sits back in the top. So you can see like so. I'll give you a closer look in a minute, but I just wanted to sort of ramble with it here. You got the guns on the front here a little bit. Let me get the tape measure out so you can sort of see the damage in scale here, because you're going to need to clear some room on your shelf. So it is about 19 inches from the tip of the gun to the back of the treads. From the top to the bottom, it is about maybe 11 inches, maybe just under a foot in height. And let's do depth as well from the widest part, just in case you're curious of that. So depth, let's go from gun to gun, is what? Nearly 13 inches. I can squeeze them in a little bit. And then you have 10 inches, maybe 10.5 inches. One of the missiles came off. Honestly, this thing is an absolute monster. Yous are going to love this in hand. Literally so I don't know what to say. It is so good. Let me get my other camera and we'll take a closer look at some of the details. Apologies for the shoddy camera work incoming, but I don't know how else to give you a closer look at this. So let's get in there. So you got the 788 and then you got lots of sculpted details throughout the body of the actual HISSTANK. You can see this red ladder. This will go down, so you can have characters hanging off that. That goes up and down on both sides. But again, sculpted work all the way down. On the sides here, you've got a little bit of red, a little bit of colour here, and they cover up all the treads that we've already seen. Roll really nicely. Literally sounds like a tank. And then you've got the missiles here on the side. These do have ratchets, so you can point them up to the Dragonfly. Again, all of these will come off, so you can completely empty your missiles, and then that will come out of there like so, and maybe in the future we will get more accessories to plug in there, but that nicely hides that hole, so that's really good. So there's that. You get a Cobra logo on the back. Up top you get lots more weaponry. So of course we know these have ratchets. You can literally hear them clicking. You've got a little shield with the logo sculpted on there. I like the little bit of red at the end of the cannons to sort of show that they're really hot. And there are peg holes in the end of those cannons, so if you have characters like scrap iron, you can plug in effect pieces, and even some of the smaller effect pieces that you get with characters like the Steel Corps will plug into those Gatling guns as well. So I apologize, my focus is all over the place, but there you go. So this whole section will spin around on the top, and you can have characters hanging on the back there as well, and maybe you can fit multiple people in this little bucket. But remember, this comes out like so, and then all of these have points of articulation, like you can have people shooting to the side, where you've got people shooting at the front, or shooting at that dragonfly again. So yeah, that dragonfly is going to be in trouble, to be fair. So yeah, that's really good. Round the silver side is exactly the same as you would expect. The back, so you got the back, you got this panel where people can stand on. You've got the little tow bar thing with a hook, so I'm assuming other pieces will come with that. I know we are getting other vehicles that will attach onto the back of that. So that goes up. This comes down, and again, lots of sculpted detail on that. And then there you go, a light in the back as well when the door opens, which reveals Cobra's seat. I think that's the best I can do there. Cobra's seat, that does move up and down as well, up, down. Weapons rack on this side, like so. So lots of weaponry there, both vertical and horizontal. And then that gives you a better look at the bucket where you have the characters standing on, which is, of course, up top, like so. So yeah, and that will stay flush to the ground as well. And when I lift that up and clip it back into place, it's like that clips back in automatically. It's pretty good how it does that. So let's go all the way around to the front. So again, same symmetrical on the other side. Here's the canopy. You've got the three sides that open up so you can get to the driver like so. And again, this is the retro style one. That will lift up. They do clip in on those clips there. You get the seat, red seat with the Cobra logo on the top of the seat. Very nice. And then you get the belt. And then you actually can articulate that gear stick and that sort of acceleration throttle on the other side. So that's pretty good. And then also you can see the lighten up screen when the lights are on, because yes, I did manage to find some batteries. So maybe that's a good opportunity to actually try the lights out. Okay, I've turned most of my lights off. I'm trying to set the mood here. Finally, we had this gun, which does articulate up and down and spin side to side as well. And then that's where you see the light. Basically, all of these on the front are lights that work very nicely. And the button is under there. So if we press that, we can start to see things come on. So I'm going to turn my attic lights off on my app here to see how bright these are, okay? So let's go press that button. Okay, so let me go through the motions here. So this is the front of the car. So I apologize if it's not going to focus. Let's do what we can. Okay, so there's the Cobra logo. So let me move the gun out of the way. There you go. Can you see it? I think you can see it pretty well, to be fair. So there's the Cobra logo. So that will point in whatever direction you move the car. And there you go. There's the headlights beaming. More headlights. Multiple lights on the front. And again, I'm assuming on the back as well. Yes, on the back. And then there's the cockpit. Again, I don't know how well you can see it all, but all the lights are on in the cockpit, so it does light up really well. Let's go back to the front. Let me press it again. So now that goes off, but the headlights stay on. There is instructions that tell you all this. I just wanted to see it out in the dark to see how light it was. But there you go. So just to give you an impression of all the lights. Oh, now it's flashing at me. But there you go. Obviously, I wanted to see if a Cobra commander would be able to sit down. So there's the very first release we've got. His uniform probably gets in the way a little bit. The retro version doesn't have all that gear, so will probably fit in a little bit nicer. But you can put him in there, and it will be a tight fit for anyone else to get in there with him. Probably just some weapons. There we have a regular infantry trooper just standing on the front. And then I wanted to show you a couple of people in the gunner seat. So you can squeeze two in there, but it's definitely a tight fit. And as I said, I will do a separate video taking a closer look at all of the individual figures, but here we have the driver in the HISSTANK, and you can see I have managed to strap him in, but the strap is a little bit like hard. Maybe I'd suggest warming that up with a hairdryer first, just so you can stretch the actual seatbelt a little bit. But then you can also get his hand on the throttle and on the gear stick, and remember they articulate as well, so he will sit in there. And then of course you have all the panels on the front, if I can spin it around for a second. So there you go, there is your driver with plenty to look at when he is driving his HISSTANK. Does look very, very good. Let's wrap up with a couple of comparisons. So here we have the Cobra Commander out of his chair next to a couple of regular infantry troopers. Here we have the Supreme Cobra Commander, because I think the gold, black and red colour palette goes better with the HISSTANK. We also have Baroness on her coil bike. That was the first G.I. Joe vehicle we've got. So this HISSTANK is a massive upgrade compared to that. And then of course we have its maker. It is of course Deathstroke. Of course we had to see what Serpentor with his air chariot looked like. And that was a pretty hefty vehicle as well. But nothing compared to the HISSTANK. Here we have a couple of other G.I. Joe vehicle comparisons. First we have Duke on his Tiger Force Ram, and then we have the Python Patrol version of the Trouble Bubble already on a flight stand, hovering there next to the HISSTANK, which looks great. That's definitely what I plan to do. Get a couple of the regular Trouble Bubbles going into battle, flanking the HISSTANK. The Joes are definitely going to struggle for the next 12 months while they wait for reinforcements. Where's that Dragonfly? They're definitely going to need it to take on this HISSTANK. But there we have Scarlet, Duke and Roadblock, and I can't wait for the retro versions of these two. I couldn't get out of here without at least trying the additional parts to make it more of a retro, classic looking HISSTANK, where you've got the completely translucent old school canopy and the different armor plates on either side of the tracks. It still looks very nice like this, to be fair, but my personal preference is the classified style. But there's going to be collectors out there that are going to want it for this reason, and there is so much customizability with this as well, depending on how many weapons you want to be displayed as they all pop on and off. You've got the different decals and stickers, so yeah, people are going to go crazy with this. Everybody's HISSTANK can be unique in their own way, but yeah, here we have the retro parts and it looks great. And it wouldn't be Dan Who Reviews without some of the Who crew. So most importantly, there we have Captain Britain and Hal Fire Hank. So, final thoughts on this G.I. Joe Classified Haslab HISSTANK. Now, this arrived in the UK this week. I'm sure you guys in the US will get it very, very soon, and you will not be disappointed. This thing is a beast. Now, I know this was a bit of an unorthodox video, not your regular review format, but it was more just a case of I was excited to open it up and I wanted to share it with you guys. So if there are any details or any closer looks you'd like to see, let me know in the comments and I will follow it up on another video, because I am of course going to do a separate video for all of these figures, but I don't think I'm going to open the Cobra Commander. Let me know if I should in the comments, but it looks too good on the card. But there's 3 figures here that definitely are worthy of a closer look and lots of comparisons with their accessories and stuff. So obviously stick around on the channel to see that. But yeah, honestly people, wait until you get it in hand. You will be very impressed. If you like G.I. Joes, then make sure you check out my live stream called Joes and Juice, where we always break down all the classified news. There is a playlist on the channel, so go and check that out, and make sure you don't miss out by please hitting that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. As always, my name is Dan W. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter at Dan Who Reviews, and I will of course see you on the next one.